like, I can't believe I'm saying this on the internet, but like, oh, like this could be it. Why did you stop being vegetarian? And the vegan was less about the ethics and more about wanting to look a certain way. I think I was very naive in terms of like, you need money to buy a condo. Like, where did the time go? But it's beautiful and it's exciting. Like, I'm not like, oh, I'm not like afraid of it. It was kind of a tough question to answer. I hope I answered it. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a Q&A. These are some of my favorite videos to film because I just love getting questions from you guys. You guys ask the best questions and we're able to go super deep, super chatty, super unfiltered. And as always in my Q&As, I'm just gonna be super, super honest and answer your questions. So our vibe today is like beat the winter blues. And if I had to put some emojis, it would be like sheep, white heart, snowflake, candle, maybe the twinkle emoji because I just love that one. I'm really, really trying to keep my spirits up, keep my mood up, keep my energy up post-Christmas because January is hard. So we're gonna get through it together. I am trying to upload as many videos as I can, start off 2024 on the right foot. My hope is that today's video will keep you company, maybe lift your spirits, make you feel like you're chatting with a friend, and I hope it's gonna be really long and cozy. And before we dive into the questions, I am so excited that today's video is sponsored by BetterHelp because this is a company that I love so much. So thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring today's video. Therapy has played a tremendous role in my life, helping me to better understand myself and my emotions, helping me to learn how to communicate in difficult situations, and just overall helping me to better navigate the relationships in my life. I am a huge fan of BetterHelp because they make therapy accessible both in terms of price as well as logistics. I started using BetterHelp in 2020 and I instantly loved how the platform was completely virtual. It was my first experience with virtual therapy and I was a little bit hesitant at the beginning, but it's so easy, it's so seamless. And through BetterHelp, I had a really amazing connection with my therapist. So the way BetterHelp works is you sign up online, you fill out a quiz, and this quiz helps you get matched with the best therapist for you. You can specify that you would like a therapist who is familiar with certain topics that maybe you'd like to work on or who is from a similar cultural or religious background to you. I specified that I would like a female therapist who specialized in anxiety and depression, as well as family dynamics, because that was something I really needed to work on. And I'm still working on it to this day. My first therapist with BetterHelp actually wasn't the right fit for me, and that's okay. It's totally normal not to have that instant connection with someone. I mean, think about it. This is someone you're going to be pouring your heart out to, confiding in them, and it can take a little bit of time to help you find the right fit. The best part about BetterHelp is that they make finding the right fit really, really easy, taking out all of the awkwardness. You just request a change in the app. There are no uncomfortable conversations, which by the way, I've had to do in real life and it sucks. And then having to do it on BetterHelp, it was just so much easier. So my second therapist with BetterHelp was the perfect match for me and I ended up meeting with her weekly from the comfort of my own couch. We were just on video chat. I would prop up my phone and it was like we were in the room together while I was able to feel super, super safe and cozy in my own environment. She helped me tremendously. At the time, I was really working on setting boundaries, improving my relationship with my family, and the tools that I learned from her are things that I am going to be grateful for the rest of my life. The start of a new year is a great time to invest in yourself, try out therapy, or maybe get back into it so you can live a more seamless and happier life. You can download the BetterHelp app or visit BetterHelp on your computer to get matched with a therapist today. Thank you so much to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. From the bottom of my heart, you guys, this is a company that I love, I trust, I've used it myself, and I'm so grateful to be working with them once again. I think they're the perfect sponsor for this cozy Q&A. We have so many amazing questions, so let's dive in. We're gonna start with something easy, and then we got a lot of like really good, juicy questions. So Mar asked, what is on your manifestation memoir for the year? So I haven't yet made my vision board, but if I just think off the top of my head, I really hope to travel a little bit more this year. I went on some wonderful trips last year. I guess I shouldn't say more because I did travel quite a bit last year, but I just want to keep that up. It sounds so silly, but like budgeting for travel and then going on vacation once you've budgeted, life-changing. It makes travel so much more fun. So I really want to keep doing that in 2024. That is something that I'm manifesting, I guess, just like the opportunities to travel as well as lots of income opportunity so that I can save up budget for and go on these vacations. I'm definitely manifesting just like continued YouTube growth and continued success with my channel, and how this has been able to become pretty much my main source of income at this point is mind-blowing, and it makes me feel like the happiest girl in the world. So I definitely want to manifest some more of that, more brand deals, more loving subscribers, just growing our community. I literally feel like we have the best community, and like every YouTuber says that, but you guys are so cool. You're so nice. Like, we're paying off our debts together. We're getting our finances together. We're like splurging in ways that feel good together. Like, I don't know. And all around the world, like, what? It's magical. It's so cool. Okay, another thing that I'm manifesting is that Maggie gets trained this year. Like, I've been doing her training. It's been like a week, but that I can leave her alone and just go back to kind of living a more independent life for me and more independent life for her too, that we're not having to be so stuck together and having that separation anxiety. This question is from, I don't know where, okay, I think it's Adele, but I don't know where her first name and last name split. How do you pull yourself out of a depressive/anxious episode? I usually love January, but it's hard. Well, I cannot relate to normally loving January. I feel like every January has like 3 months in it, and I always forget every single year how hard January can be. Pulling yourself out of a bad mental health episode, I think the first thing is to allow yourself to feel it. Sometimes when I keep pushing myself and keep trying to be my most productive self or be my most social self, I'm not able to, the episode ends up dragging out longer and longer. I'll give you guys an example, which is a few days before New Year's Eve, I was feeling a little bit depressed. I was like not feeling it at all. I was supposed to go out for New Year's Eve, and finally I just said, you know what, F this, I'm staying home. Sorry friends, love you, but I'm staying home. And staying in, cleaning, taking care of myself, doing things that I really wanted to do and putting myself first snapped me out of that depression so much faster than had I just kept going and kept pushing myself. So I really do think rest is really important if you're going through a bit of a slump. It's like, chill out, watch TV, do what makes you feel good, you know, take a bubble bath, whatever feels good for you, and get back into things on your own time. Of course, if a depressive episode is lasting, you know, a lot longer, that's when it's time to reach out and get help. But if it's just kind of like a mini slump, these are totally normal, especially with the seasons as they fluctuate. January is hard. Like, I'm going through it right now and I'm trying to keep my spirits up, but at night, I'm like totally social battery drained. Like, I just want to read. I just want to relax. The amount of baths I've taken already in 2024, it's not even funny. So take care of yourself. That is the most important. From La Plume d'Aurore, she said, what do you think about the low or no buy year challenge? I've been seeing some videos like this on my YouTube recommendations, and I don't click on them because I'm like, no. I think they're great. I think if you feel called to do that, then that is fantastic. I definitely did a lot of like minimalism stuff during COVID because I was feeling super, super called to it. Prior to COVID, I was like a shopping fiend and I was always like ordering Uber Eats. You guys know my story. Even furniture, like I was always ordering new things for the home. Every day, basically, I had to buy something or I was like not satisfied. Like, I was insane. So I really, really cut back. But even then, I would still struggle. Like, I would cut back from like buying from like mainstream stores, let's say, but I would be shopping on Facebook Marketplace. I would shop like thrift stores. Like, I was just always having to consume. Now I'm in a place where I just have a lot more balance. I can go weeks without buying stuff. I can go, okay, I can't really go maybe not a month, but I'm happy with where my consumption is at. I do think I bring more things than perhaps average, or what I'm trying to say is brands send me stuff. So I get more stuff than I would probably buy, but I just see that as kind of like part of the job. But aside from that, I'm really happy with where I'm at. So I don't feel the need to buy nothing for a year. Maybe next year I will, maybe the year after. But I think if anyone does feel the need to do so, I love challenges. I think it's amazing to challenge yourself, and like to do a year-long challenge, like fantastic, go for it. And if you do it, let me know how it goes. I don't think it's impossible. I think it's very possible, and I'm sure you'll feel so free afterwards. So I got quite a few questions about starting a YouTube channel. I feel like at the new year, that's when a lot of people think like, oh, this is the year I'm gonna start my YouTube channel. And I think that's awesome. So let's take a look. Starting a new YouTube channel this year, should I open a new Instagram as well? Is it important for growth? And this is from actually Marielle. So I don't think your Instagram is crucial for growth in the beginning unless you're gonna go like full on Instagram, full on YouTube. For example, if you're gonna try and really grow your Instagram by like making reels and posting a lot and being super active on Instagram to then funnel people over to your YouTube, yes. But if you have a full-time job and if this is just kind of like a hobby and you're not super interested in Instagram, I don't think you need to do it to start. If YouTube is your goal, put most of your energy into YouTube. I also think if you already have an Instagram page, I know it can feel weird to suddenly start posting like an influencer on your friends and family and like hometown friends and university friends Instagram page, but I think that's much easier than starting a new page from scratch because you have that like social proof a little bit, I think they call it. So if you feel comfortable, just do it from your new page. However, let's say you're gonna open a cooking YouTube channel and you don't want it to be associated with your name, you kind of want to be like a faceless cooking channel, then yeah, maybe you want to open like faceless Instagram. But don't do it unless it's for fun. That is the thing about starting a YouTube channel is I think people get really overwhelmed and they're like, I want to make money and I want to, have so many subscribers and I want it to happen fast. If you're not having fun and you stress yourself out, you are going to burn out. It takes a long time to make money. It takes a long time to grow a channel for most people. For some people it doesn't. For some people it happens really fast. But for the most part, you've got to kind of be consistent and keep at it week after week, month after month. So my best advice is to keep it fun. I hope that answers the question. The second question is from Sophie. She said, when did you start seeing an actual income from your YouTube? Heart, you are my fave. Thank you. So there are certain steps you need to achieve before you get accepted into the YouTube Partner Program, and it's the YouTube Partner Program that pays you. So you need to have a certain amount of views, you need to have 1,000 subscribers, and you need to have a certain amount of watch minutes. So you have to hit those 3 buckets before you get accepted into the program and can start earning AdSense revenue. I'm also assuming that this income is you're just talking about like from YouTube because it's YouTube that pays you AdSense. But anyways, by the time you reach these 3 milestones, you should be looking at about $100 a month from AdSense. Everyone's channel differs though. If you're only posting videos that are 5 minutes long, you're not gonna have as much ad opportunity as a video that's an hour long. Let's say you start a podcast and you're posting 1.5 hour long podcast video episodes on YouTube, you have way more opportunity for ads, therefore way more earning potential. To answer the question though, it took me years to start earning an income from YouTube. I started my YouTube channel when I was in middle school. And I finally got accepted to the partner. I used to just post like outfits of the day, like hauls, like really random stuff. Teenager stuff. Who remembers PB Bunny 97? I was obsessed with her and I posted videos like her. So eventually I got accepted to the partner program, but the rules were different. There weren't those same 3 thresholds that you have to meet now. So I would get maybe 4 times a year, I would get a check in the mail from AdSense of about $200. And I was like, this is so cool. Then I stopped my channel. And when I came back to YouTube in 2019, I had to re-meet those thresholds. I already had the subscriber count and I already had I had one other one. So I had one more threshold to meet and then I could start getting paid, and I was making, maybe about $100 a month. It was probably like that for a year. Then it went up to like 200, then maybe 300. And then it went to like 5, 6, like it was a very slow growth. Right now, I could not really live off of my AdSense paychecks, but the money I make from AdSense is really nice and definitely helps pay the bills now. So I guess to answer the question, it took years to finally start making like an actual income off YouTube. It's also much harder, I think, to get YouTube sponsorships than say Instagram sponsorship. Like if you grow your Instagram to 10,000 followers and you grow your YouTube to 10,000 subscribers, you're gonna have a way easier time finding Instagram sponsorships than YouTube sponsorships. At least that's my experience. Brands seem to just understand Instagram a little bit more. So it took me growing my channel quite a bit more than perhaps I would have had to grow my Instagram. I don't even have 10,000 followers on Instagram, but it just takes a little more on YouTube to go and get those brand deals. But of course you have the AdSense, which is nice. Hope that answers the question. From Carolyn Marie, she says, how to be more grateful for the income we already have and not just want more. I feel like that's a great follow-up to the question I just answered. I totally get this because I feel like we can often be in this race to earn more, always level up our goals, always want more. And I think it's great to want more money. I'm super, super motivated by money. Maybe that sounds bad. Maybe girls aren't supposed to say that, but I'm very motivated by money. That being said, something that I'm really, really working on is just being content with what I have now, knowing that it's okay to want more, knowing that it's okay to work towards more, but not being grateful for what you have, I think is a really ugly feeling inside. And I would love for myself and for all of us to be really grateful for what we have, no matter what that looks like. So some of the best ways I think to practice gratitude are to look around you and say, look what my salary affords me. Maybe it affords you the rent in your apartment and your apartment is super cozy and it's decorated the way you like. So look at these things that you have and be so grateful for what you already have. I really, really think looking inwards and gratitude is the key to overcoming comparison and overcoming a desire for more. And as I'm saying this, I'm realizing I really am doing a lot better on my own comparison struggles. Like I used to eat myself alive comparing myself to other people, comparing myself to girls on Instagram, comparing myself to girls from my high school, girls from my university. Why do they have a Louis Vuitton bag and I don't? I feel like every single journal I have now has gratitude prompts. And so I'm always thinking about gratitude. I'm always focusing on it. Before I go to bed at night, I close my eyes. I say, dear universe, thank you so much for this day. I say a few things that I'm grateful for, and it's changed my life. And now I'm way more in a position where yes, I'm striving for more, but I'm really happy with what I currently have. Most days. We all have days where we compare and we, feel like shit and we want more. But for the most part, I think I'm really happy with where my comparison is at, and it's all thanks to gratitude. You guys know me. I'm gonna talk myself in a circle. I'm gonna say the same thing 10 times. That's what we do on this channel. From Nicole, what was your favorite Christmas gift to give and receive? So I'll do receive first. JS got me a Babaton wool coat from Aritzia. It's like a pea coat with the buttons. I've been wanting one of these for years, and I mentioned it to him like once, and then I just put it on my Christmas wish list, and I did not think he was gonna go and get that for me. He tricked me with the boxes and everything. Like he put it in this giant box that made me think it was some filming equipment. He like weighed it down with a book and everything. Like he so tricked me, and I was so surprised when I opened it. I started crying because it was just such a thoughtful gift. It was so generous, and it was, to me, what's my perfect gift is something that someone's been wanting for a while but wouldn't buy for themselves, which is exactly what that coat is. It's been on my mind. I've been thinking about it, and every year I'm like, next year I'm gonna buy the Aritzia coat. Next year I'm gonna buy the Aritzia coat. So he surprised me with that, and that was so lovely. Plus it's so special because it's kind of like a special occasion coat. It's not the kind of coat that you can wear every day in these disgusting Montreal winters. So every time I wear it, I'll think of him. My best gift to give was to my sister. I spoiled her with some clothes from Garage and some clothes from Aritzia, and she was so excited when she opened the box. She was just like, it just made me so happy to see her face because it was basically exactly what was on her wish list. She was really excited, even the sock, like all the way down to the socks. She was so happy, and that makes me really happy. And then a few days after, she called me and was like, oh, those yoga pants from Garage, like I wear them all the time. And like, what more do you want to hear when you give someone a gift, right? That they're enjoying it and they're using it. Just makes you feel really good. From Dina, she says, what can I do to make life less exhausting? Sometimes I feel so drained, I can barely function. This makes me sad to know that you're feeling this way, but I do think it's very normal. I've definitely been there where I feel so incredibly drained. I guess the first thing I would say, obviously, like I'm not a mental health professional, I'm not a health professional, but I think ruling out any physical reasons why you might be tired. So just making sure you're not sick, I guess, is what I'm saying. Like, is it making sure you're sleeping enough? Like kind of checking all of the like basic boxes, and then we get to look into more of why you feel drained. Personally, I know I felt very drained when I was working a job that I wasn't super happy with. And I know you can't just wake up and quit your job. I mean, we'd all maybe love to, It's not really how it works. But I think if you're not filling your day with at least one thing a day that you enjoy, that's where life can feel really, really exhausting. Keeping up with the news, keeping up with friends on social media, always trying to keep up. And if there's not something in your life, in your days, bringing you joy, life can feel really miserable. I would challenge you to find that energy is to add one thing a day into your life that makes you happy, whether that's cooking dinner and listening to an audiobook, or watching your favorite YouTuber, watching your favorite comfort TV show. Find small little joys in your life. Those will help energize you. The power of calling a friend is so underrated. Once again, in my slump before New Year's, my friend Michaela called me and I was like, I'm in a bad mood. Like, I don't have anything to talk about, but I was just like, shut up, Zoe, like pick up the phone. And I felt so re-energized after talking to her. So try your best to inject these little moments of joy into your life. I also think in my personal periods of like feeling really down and feeling really drained and exhausted, I would stop working out. I would stop moving my body. I'd be like, no, I'm tired. I'm not gonna go for a walk. Pre-Maggie, now I have no choice, but I'm not gonna work out. But lately, I've been learning that, believe it or not, working out actually gives you energy. So if you can drag your butt to the gym, or if you can set up a little area inside your apartment or your home to do a home workout, do like 10 push-ups, like moving your body, it's gonna inject that life also back into your body. And it sounds counterintuitive, but it's also gonna give you energy. The last thing I will say, this is new to me, but you can also try breath work to re-energize yourself. There are special breathing techniques that you can just follow along for free on YouTube that are supposed to help re-energize you. So I've given you a lot of tools to try. Try them out, let me know if they work, and I sincerely hope you start feeling more vibrant and just a little bit better day after day. Another one from La Plume d'Aurore, she said, do you plan to try new hobbies this year? I feel like in the winter time, no, because I'm really working on skiing. I'm having a love-hate relationship with it because it's really challenging. It's very physical, it's very challenging. I also feel like my kind of side hustle as a bar instructor is keeping me really busy right now, but I hope that by the summer I can add some kind of hobby into my life. I feel like something that I've done is monetized all of my hobbies, and like Gary Vaynerchuk would be proud of me, but I do look at my days sometime and I'm like, I need to do something that's really just for me, that I'm not getting paid to do. Like, I used to love going to bar class and it was kind of like a hobby of mine, but then I became an instructor and now it's a job. So can it still be a hobby? I do think yes, but I think it's important to have non-monetized hobbies. And this is something that I joke around about with my friend Rodrigo, because we're like, we got to get those non-monetized hobbies. So I've been thinking about sewing. I started following this account where this girl, she like sews all her own dresses and stuff and tops. And you guys know I love clothing. So I think, you know, what if I could start making my own clothes? That'd be super cool. Like maybe I could set up a sewing machine in my office, but it feels like a little bit daunting to start. But that's an idea I had for a hobby. I tried pottery once, I hated it. Maybe I should try again. TBD. This person doesn't have their name in their username, but if you won the lottery, what's the first big splurge you would make? It's so boring, but I feel like a house. Like I would just love to, I would buy a house, or a vacation, somewhere fun, like to the Maldives or somewhere warm, back to Hawaii, but probably somewhere more exotic. That would be my first big splurge. A house and then a vacation, or a vacation, then a house. I feel like that's everyone's answers. How basic am I? Okay, another category that we got a lot of questions about was my relationship. I love love, I love talking about love, so I'm happy to answer these questions. This is from Sydney Carter. Do you and JS actively set relationship goals / time for relationship reflection together? I wouldn't say we actively do it. Like we don't say, hey, this week we've got to think about our relationship, but we do just chat about it kind of naturally. This is kind of a hard question. I don't know how to explain it. We just like to chat and make sure we're on the same page. We just kind of check in. Are you happy? Are you enjoying this? Is there anything that I could do more for you? Do you feel we spend enough time together? I feel like in the beginning, we didn't have a lot of quality time together, and it was leading to us like kind of like a lot of friction, like us kind of not fighting, but just like butting heads a little bit. And then we had like a big talk of like, we're not always efficient. We're not always like working together. And I think that was the start of these kind of little just natural check-ins of like, how's everything going? Are we happy? We love to talk about our goals together, like our long-term goals and stuff. And then those just end up including each other. So that was kind of a tough question to answer. I hope I answered it. I do think it's important in some form or another that if you're in a relationship, even with your friendships, you're checking in and just being like, hey, are you happy? Am I supporting you? I think we think that like if you're in the right relationship, everything just like magically works out. And I don't know if it does. Like just like anything, you have to talk, and it doesn't have to be so serious. Like it's just fun. Like we'll just talk over dinner or over like tea and coffee in the morning. Like, hey, how you feeling? You know, we just doesn't have to be like making time on the calendar to sit down, and that makes it feel like really daunting. As is always the case when I film Q&As, my camera started overheating, so I had to take a little break. You guys might see it's really dark out right now, and it's like a real snow globe out there. That is crazy. I can't wait to actually go play in the snow after. Also guys, I feel like maybe we're in the middle, maybe we're more towards the end of the video. It's all just going to depend on my camera. But of the emojis that I said at the beginning, let me know which one you're most feeling right now. I think it was like sheep, candle, white heart, twinkle. Let me know. Also feel free Sunday chat style to let me know what you are currently up to, what day of the week it is. I always super love knowing what you guys are up to while you're watching. It just makes me so happy. So my next question, I didn't screenshot the person's name, I'm so sorry, but she says, what are your plans on your living situation? You've openly said you've started to save for a house, but you're living in JS's condo. So are you planning on buying your own house, buying a house together? Do you have a plan for this in the long term? If this question is too personal, it's okay. Just curious. Totally get it. I don't think this is too personal at all. The short answer is that most likely it will be a house that we buy together. I feel like when I was 23 working in consulting, my dream was to buy a condo. It's kind of like the yuppie dream, to own a condo in the city that you're living in. And that was my dream for definitely a long time. I think I was very naive in terms of like, you need money to buy a condo. And obviously at the time I was paying off my debt. I think I was very heavily influenced by a lot of the people that I was working with at the time, they had families helping them pay for their condos, and like families were giving them the down payments for their condos, so they only had to pay the monthly mortgage, which is such an amazing gift, but definitely is not my situation. So I was comparing myself to them and thinking that I definitely needed to buy a condo. Now that I'm with JS, if he didn't already own this condo, probably we'd be looking to maybe buy something together. He bought this condo somewhere around the 1 year mark of us dating, maybe like a bit before, maybe a bit after, I don't actually remember. But he bought the condo knowing pretty well that we'd end up moving in here together. Like I remember when he was shopping, looking around, looking at condos, he really wanted my opinion because he was like, I would love for us to like live in this condo together. Obviously I pay rent, not like living here rent free, but he does take on a majority of the expenses because of the mortgage and it's his place, blah, blah, blah. If I were to buy a condo now, it would only be as an investment property. It would be a condo that I would then rent out because I like living here and I'm not gonna like buy a condo and move away from JS and then like we'd split our time. Like to me, that just doesn't make sense. But although I like the idea of having investment properties, for me, I would just rather, before I have an investment property, I'd like to own the place where I'm living. That being said, if we were gonna live in this condo for a long time, I probably would go ahead and I think I would either purchase a condo as an investment. That I'm talking as if I could afford this today. I don't have the money for this today. I'm just coming out of debt and starting to build my savings. But hypothetically, if I did have the money today, yes, I would love to buy some kind of investment condo, rent it out. I feel like I'd be such a good landlord. Or once again, if we were staying here for a long time, maybe I would buy a cottage that we could enjoy together. So I would own the cottage, he would own the condo, and then we'd kind of like share. That would be another option. That being said, I don't think we're gonna stay in this condo for that much longer that I would do either of those things. Once again, I don't have the money. So by the time I have the money to buy something, I think we'll be ready for a house and I think we'll be doing that together. So that's where all of my saving energy is going right now. I am saving up so that when the time is right, hopefully JS and I can buy a home together and we can live in it and it can be beautiful. That's like really my dream right now. It makes me really emotional talking about it because it's just kind of crazy to be at that stage in my life thinking about buying a house and thinking, like literally thinking like, oh, whatever house I buy could be a home that I bring a baby home to. Like, isn't that weird? Like, where did the time go? But it's beautiful and it's exciting. Like, I'm not like, oh, I'm not like afraid of it. I'm like slowly walking into like being ready for that and like walking into my future self. And I think it's really, really cool. Why did you stop being vegetarian? This question is from Giving Perfect Gifts. Super curious. So appreciate that this was asked nicely. I feel like there was a time on the internet where if you were not like vegan or vegetarian, people would really give you shit. So why did I stop? For anyone who doesn't know, I was vegetarian for 7 years. 7 happy years. I loved being vegetarian, but you guys, I knew nothing about nutrition or cooking or anything like that. That is not me saying you cannot be healthy and be vegetarian. I firmly believe you can. I'm almost like tempted to believe that being vegetarian is the healthier diet when done correctly, but you cannot healthily live off of Beyond Meat burgers and pasta. And that's what I was doing. I was living off of like, yeah, tofu, super, super processed vegetarian food. I ate pasta just like 24/7. Within those 7 years, I did though start being pescatarian a little bit, which definitely helped, but I was not healthy. I was bloated all the time. I had no energy, always super, super tired. And I thought that I was feeling good. Like I was like, no, this is it. This is the best. Like it can't be this vegetarian food making me feel unwell. And beans, lentils, all of that kind of stuff do not agree with my stomach. Like they really, really hurt my stomach. Even the soy products that I was eating would make me rock hard bloated, but I refused to believe that my stomach pains and my discomfort and my fatigue, like I would eat dinner and I would fall asleep on the couch after. I refused to believe that it was coming from my vegetarian food. I was vegetarian for 2 reasons. The first reason was ethics and animals. I think the way that animals are farmed and are treated is really, really devastating. Like now that I eat meat, I really hate thinking about it and I feel guilty. I really do. I don't like the way that we do like factory farming. Like it's disgusting. It's disgusting. That was reason number 1. Reason number 2 is because I thought it would make me skinny. I was really strong on the ethics, and then the bonus was like, no, it's gonna make me skinny, because who remembers all those? I wanted to be vegan. Like to me, being vegetarian wasn't enough. I wanted to be vegan, and the vegan was less about the ethics and more about wanting to look a certain way, because there was a period of time on the internet, if you're around my age, a little bit older too, you probably remember like Freely the Banana Girl and all the fruitarians, and it was like, you want to get your dream body? Just eat fruit. And I really, really bought into it, and there's still YouTubers that I watch to this day who do have that vegan diet and who have these really, really thin bodies. And the self-conscious person and the like diet culture ingrained person, and I really think this comes with like my generation, with wanting to be thin, being conditioned to be thin and all that. I'm like, oh, then I should be vegan or vegetarian. So part of it was for the right reasons, part of it was for the wrong reasons. I started paying closer attention to what I was eating and how it was making me feel, and I realized I can't eat lentils and beans anymore. Terrible. Hummus, horrible gas, horrible bloating. And I'm half Lebanese and I can't eat hummus. You know how sad that is? Tahini, same thing, horrible stomach aches, which really was just leaving me with like salad and pasta, and that's what I was living off of. And once again, I was really tired. So I slowly started integrating meat back into my diet. I wasn't like happy about it, but I started physically feeling a lot better, and I started realizing too about like the like wanting to be skinny, like how just silly that is. So that's why I stopped being vegetarian, was because ultimately, physically at this time, it was just better for me. I do think that somewhere down the line, I'd love to try it again, and once I can cook a little bit better, I can try, you know, really soaking my like legumes, and really going about being vegetarian the right way. I could see that being in my future. It's just not right now. I think too, it's totally okay to flow in and out of ways of eating, I feel like sometimes society can be so harsh. And when I stopped eating meat, my family was like, oh, you've crossed back over to the dark side. Like, look at you, you know? And like, I got a lot of like slick comments from friends and stuff too. And it's like, okay, but I tried. Like for 7 years, I tried. It wasn't like a week-long phase. Like for 7 years, I did this and I dedicated, and I've changed my mind now. And like, you know that expression, like only fools never change their mind? Like try it, see how it goes. You're allowed to change your mind. If I don't re-become vegetarian, my dream is definitely to be in a place where I can afford to eat high quality, humanely raised local meat. Like that is really a dream, because like I said, I feel really guilty for eating meat. I do. It's also so funny that as I came off of being vegetarian, my mom started becoming vegetarian. So all the years that I was vegetarian, my mom was not vegetarian, and now she is and I'm not. All right, let's move into some money questions. This is from Sina. She says, how did you finance your studies? So my parents helped me out in my first year of university. They had an RESP for me, which is an account with the Canadian government that gives parents like some kickbacks and some tax incentives to save for their children's education. That covered my first year of school. In my first semester of school though, I got a part-time job working at Simon's. So that money was helping me pay for nights out and, you know, food off of campus and stuff like that. So my parents helped me out my first year. My second year, I got a government student loan, and that paid for the rest of my school. Plus I was working part-time my entire way through school, working full-time in the summers, having internships, like doing whatever I could to make my own money to limit the amount of debt that I was taking on. I was in school for 5 years. I had 1 semester abroad, and 4 years and that semester abroad were all pretty much funded by either myself or debt. And of course, I'm so grateful for my parents' help in that first year. They also paid for my residence in that first year, which is why the money kind of drained a little bit faster, because living in res is super expensive. And yeah, then you guys know the journey of like me paying off my debt and all of that. This is from Grace Marie. She said, how to pay off debt when working a lower paid job. It's definitely possible. I can imagine that sometimes it feels like it's impossible. You're like, oh my gosh, I've got to make my ends meet and then pay off my debt. So first thing I would say is, if paying off your debt is really important to you, which for me it was, you want to prioritize that over going out for dinner, social activities that cost money. Put your debt before that. Put as much money as you can, even if it's just $50 a month. Put as much money as you can towards your debt. Cut corners wherever you can. If you find yourself going out for lunch because you didn't take the time to buy your groceries and make your lunch at home, you gotta fix that. Make your lunch at home. That 20 bucks that you spent on lunch, to your debt. Prioritize your debt wherever you can. I also think getting creative is really, really like overlooked. When I was paying off my debt and I wanted to speed it up, I was like selling plants on Facebook Marketplace. I was participating. If you live in a university town, there are sometimes studies that you can do, like non-medical studies, like just studies where you go listen to someone speaking another language, like really, really easy studies you can do, and they'll give you like 20, 30 bucks. It's worth it if you have spare time. Go get that 20 bucks, put it towards your debt. Getting creative, maybe getting a side hustle, doing whatever you can with the time that you have and the resources you have. If you're working a lower paid job, it might take you longer to pay off your debt, and that is so okay. Just keep making those strides, because it's better to take longer than to not start at all. Also, you guys, I have a video called, I think it's like 5 things my debt taught me, where I talk about things that I've learned to pay off debt faster, really prioritize debt. So if you're currently in debt, highly recommend checking out that video. I do like a lot of tough love, and I hope it's gonna be a really helpful video. From Anna, she said, what motivated you to have financial goals at the beginning all those years back and to accomplish them? I think the biggest thing that motivated me is I was tired of being anxious, and I was tired of feeling like shit. I was tired of looking around me and thinking, why is this happening to other people? Why? And feeling sorry for myself rather than actually taking action. I've always been someone who likes to set goals and who likes to dream big and try and achieve. Like I would every semester in university, I would set grades goals or course goals. I was involved in extracurricular activities and I would set goals for that. I was a part of a program called case competitions, business case competitions, and one of my goals was to get on the teams that traveled. So setting goals was not new to me. And just realize that if I want to think about my finances and prioritize them, I have to set goals as well. So I've always been in that mindset of setting and achieving or trying to achieve goals. And then just bringing in the finances just made sense when I started really thinking about my finances. From Petite Lane, she says, why are you prioritizing your RRSP versus your TFSA? I heard it's best to prioritize the TFSA for taxes. So there's kind of two schools of thoughts when it comes to RRSP versus TFSA. For my international friends, the RRSP is a retirement account that gives you certain government kickbacks, and the TFSA is a tax-free savings account also giving you certain government kickbacks, but they're different. The TFSA, the way it works is you can invest it, and the growth in your money, so let's say your money grows from $5 to $10, you are not taxed on that additional $5. So you're not taxed on the growth. If you have really high returning investments, this is amazing. On the other hand, your RRSP, its main benefit is that it lowers your taxable income. So if you make $70,000 a year and you put $10,000 into your RRSP, you're only taxed on $60,000. So it lowers your taxable income by $10,000. For me, that is super helpful because I'm self-employed. I don't have an employer taking taxes off at my payday and sending it to the government. I have to take off taxes myself and put it aside. And then at the end of the year, I owe the government thousands of dollars. So if I can lower the amount that I owe the government while simultaneously saving for my future, then for me, that is a big win-win. A lot of people though who work corporate jobs like to put their money into the RRSP because your corporate job will take your taxes off at payday, then you put money into your RRSP, the government ends up owing you money back sometimes. And then what you can do is take that money that they give you back and put it to your TFSA. That's like, in my opinion, not a professional, sound the alarm, that is a really good strategy. But what is the best strategy for you? It always depends on the individual. So highly recommend booking a session with an advisor at your bank. If you're with Wealthsimple, you can book with Wealthsimple. If you're with RBC, TD, you can book with them, with BMO. If you have your money invested with a financial advisor, you can book with them. But there are plenty of ways to get like a free meeting with someone who can help you and tell you for your situation, for your income, for your goals, because your goals also matter. Your RRSP is for long time down the line or for purchasing your first home. Your TFSA, you have more flexibility with how you can use it. So it all depends on you. It all depends on your goals. But that's why I'm prioritizing the RRSP, because I want to lower that taxable income so that I don't have to pay the government like so much money at the end of the year. For me, it's a really good win-win. All right, more questions about JS and I. From Hummingbird House, she said, did you have any anxiety in early dating with JS, or did you feel secure instantly? Definitely felt secure instantly, which I think is a really good sign in a relationship. He's like a very serious guy, not in the sense that like he's not funny, but when it comes to a relationship with him or just dating in general, like he's not gonna waste his time. He's not gonna spend time with you if he's not interested. So I felt really like cared for, and like, even though, you know, you're not saying I love you right away, I felt really loved from the beginning. The only maybe anxiety that I felt is like, oh shit, like this could be real, because I met JS after a period of like really just like casual dating just for fun, loving my singleness, loving my independence. Shortly after I had done like the 3-month dating cleanse. So I was like, oh, like this could be it. Like this could be that relationship that changes my life, and like this could be my future. And that was a little bit scary. But once I leaned into it, it's just been amazing. From Christina, she says, hi Zoe, my question is, are you talking about engagement with JS, and what kind of ring would you like to get? So I wanted to answer this because I feel like people can be really like slick, I guess, online, where it makes it seem like proposals just happen and they're like, oh my God, the candles and we're in Venice and like whatever. But I think most couples do talk about engagement before it happens. Like, what's your timeline? What's my timeline? So yes, we've spoken about it. In JS's culture, he's Quebecois, and in that Quebecois culture, it's not always super common for people to get married. Like his parents were not married. They're no longer together, but with their new partners, they never got married. So for him, like proposals and marriage, it's not really a thing. It's not something that he grew up thinking like one day I'm gonna propose to a woman and like I'm gonna get married. Like I don't think he grew up thinking that, whereas I very much did. So when we first started dating, like a couple weeks into dating, he asked me like, is marriage important to you? And I'm not used to that culture of not wanting to get married. So I was like, oh shit, like, yes, it's important to me. And like, it's actually a deal breaker for me. And I was like, how do you feel about that? And he was like, oh, well, if it's important to you, then like, I'm open to it. So peace of mind from the beginning, which I think is very important. If something is a deal breaker for you, whether that's marriage, whether that's kids, whether that's travel, whatever that is for you, you got to let the person know right away. So we spoke about it. We've also kind of spoke about like, you know, not ready, not ready, not ready. Oh, like, I think he knows like I'm starting to get ready. For me, I really wanted to feel like I was in a secure place financially, that like I could stand on my own before feeling ready. And I'm starting to get there. So I'm starting to like feel more ready for a potential engagement, which is just crazy. But we haven't said like, oh, on the 12th of January, like it's gonna happen. We haven't said anything like that. I don't know if he even like knows how to propose, because once again, it's just like not in his culture. And it's not like he can go to his dad and be like, hey dad, how did you propose to mom? Like he doesn't really have that. So very curious to how that's gonna be. I don't even know, like, I can't believe I'm saying this on the internet, but like, it could be the type of thing where I'm like, JS, like I take his hand and I'm like, it's time. Like it could be the kind of thing where I have to either ask or like be super, like say what I want. But I don't know. Someone's gonna send this to him and be like, listen to what your girlfriend's saying about you. But what type of engagement ring would I like? I'm so glad you asked. And I feel like people like to be very secretive about this. They like don't want to like talk about it. I'll show you guys some rings that I like. I'm obsessed with Ring Concierge. Like it would be my dream to have a ring from there. I just don't know if being from Canada, like if you have to pay import fees on like an expensive ring, I really don't know. But their page, you guys, let me turn up the brightness. Their page is just next, why is this not working? Next level, gorgeous rings. I feel like the trends right now are getting bigger and bigger. Like everyone wants a big fat diamond. And we're seeing a lot of moissanite, and we're seeing a lot of lab grown diamonds so that people can go and get that bigger size, which personally I think is really cool. I'm open to a lab grown diamond. I don't mind, but JS is like, no, he's like, no, real diamond. So I don't know. I mean, like, look how gorgeous. I could look at these all day. I love jewelry as is. Like, I think you guys know that about me. I love rings. Like I'm always wearing rings. I love jewelry, necklaces. So for me, this is super fun. That being said, I've never tried on an engagement ring, so I don't know what cut would look best on me. I think my two favorites are my three favorites, pear, oval, and emerald. Probably top two though would be oval and emerald. I love like a hidden halo when there's little diamonds around the side. And I mean, like, oh my God, like something like that. But that's gotta be like $50,000 plus, you know? Anyways, I love fantasizing about rings. I love looking at, look at this heart one. Oh my freaking gosh. So beautiful. That's gotta be so expensive. From Fancy in Nancy, did you and JS always know you wanted to live together? I think so. Like I said, it was really serious from the very beginning. Similar question-ish from Liv. What should you know before living with a significant other? For me, I wanted to know that we were both on the same page. I didn't want to live with someone unless I could see a long-term future with them, like potentially a marriage. I always felt like I wanted to only live with one significant other as much as possible. I didn't want to move in with someone, break up, move out, move in, break up. Like I wanted to live with the person who would one day become my husband. I wanted to wait until I was engaged to move in, and then I kind of changed my mind because I realized I was ready to live with him, but I wasn't ready to be engaged. But I knew that eventually I would be ready to be engaged to him. So for me, that was something that I wanted to know. But for you, that might not be important. I would say the most important things to know about someone, because the thing is, you never know. Like you hear stories of like people hiding like gambling addictions for like 10, 20 years, or even like you know, people's sexuality. They have kids with you and then they come out, right? You never know. Like there's always going to be things about someone that you never know or that only come out with time. But obviously you want to know, I guess, as much as you can that this is the right person, that this person loves you. And then I think what's super important is that you're going to be safe with this person, that they respect you, they respect your time. I think just respect is super, super important. Because if you're going to live with someone, like you're going to see them every day, that person, like that's your home. So you need to feel safe when you come home. You need to feel loved, cared for. Yeah, I think that's super important. From Needles and Stitches, I got engaged in October. You mentioned a wedding fund. Is there talks of an engagement? So congratulations, ish. And then there's also talks of like, what would a future wedding look like? And we're not in agreement. So I don't know what I need to put in my wedding fund, but it's just something kind of on the horizon and haven't actually started saving for it. There's other things that I'm gonna save for first. But yeah, like I said, it's like, I don't know. It's talks. We'll see. You guys will know like instantly, like as soon as it happens, I'm gonna tell you guys. From Pole Vault Girl, how to know when it is time to leave a long-term relationship, when to stay through it through hard times versus not worth it. I have a quick answer for this one. Your gut and your heart will tell you. Your gut and your heart will say time to go, or your gut and your heart will say, let's work through this. I think if you really, really listen, your gut will tell you what's up. I was in a relationship once that I was so scared to break up of because I was so scared to be alone and I was scared to hurt this person's feeling. But every time I would ask myself in my head, do I need to break up with this person? The voice in my head would say yes. And I ignored it and I ignored it and I ignored it. And I should have listened to it a lot sooner, both for myself and more importantly for this person. Okay, last question. We're gonna end on a super fun one. A Gato says, as you in 2024, please describe how a perfect day in your life would look. Okay, so let's say it's a Monday because I just love Mondays. I wake up 6 a.m. I'm torn. Okay, I wake up, I do my little at-home cozy routine. I work a little bit. I go for a spin class or a bar class or Pilates or yoga. I go for some kind of workout class. Then I go grab a smoothie bowl or something. Then I come home, work a little bit more. Then I take Maggie to like a really fun outdoor dog park, spend some time outside. Then I come home, have a really nice like home cooked dinner with JS, chill out, read, maybe take a bubble bath, and that's it. Like that is my perfect day. How is that lame? I don't know. The time of my life where I watched the most YouTube was in university, I think. And that's when I was obsessed with Maggie McDonald and Gretchen Garrity, and they had that lifestyle of like workout, smoothie, coffee, you know, editing videos. And that was really my dream. And I think that's really still my dream. Working on fun projects, working a job that you love, moving your body. I love going to a workout class. That's my dream day. That's my dream day. And I'm not far off from it. That's the crazy part. Once I get Maggie trained up, like my dream day can be every day. Maybe not a smoothie every day, but you guys get the picture. Homemade smoothie. So, oh my gosh, that was so long. Did we love it? Hope we loved it, all right? I love you guys so much. I think it is well past time that I stop talking. I've been sitting on my floor for over an hour now. So, I love you guys and I will see you all in my next video. Thank you once again to BetterHelp for sponsoring. You can check them out at the link down below. Don't forget to let me know which emoji you're feeling today. Bye.